Hello and welcome to the Disney News Show and to my preview of the final 4 episodes of Season 3 of Once Upon a Time. Now, I know it's been a while since my last video, but to be honest, you've got more chance of Maleficent turning up by the end of the season than me reviewing every episode of Once Upon a Time. But here we are, I'm going to give my thoughts on what I think is still to come in the next 4 episodes. We've got A Curious Thing out tomorrow night. We have Kansas in a week's time, and then the finale is the 2-hour finale of Snowdrifts and There's No Place Like Home, and I am very excited. And so let's get on with what I think is to come soon. So in A Curious Thing, this all seems to be looking at Snow and Charming's time in the year that's lost, and all about the baby and how the curse came to be. Now, one thing that it looks like they're kind of pointing away from is Zelena casting the curse. Now, everyone thoughts and thinks that Zelena cast the curse, which sent them all back to Storybrooke, but it's not looking that way. And so we have a few potential suspects for who could have cast the curse. One is Glinda. We know she obviously has magic, she's a witch, and so we believe that possibly she could have cast the curse. There's also, turning up in this week's episode, are Aurora and Philip. Now, interesting choices. Now, Aurora and Philip are characters we've not seen that much of this season, and we last saw them in New York City Serenade when it was implied they had something to do with Zelena and knew a bit about her. If it was Philip or Aurora, we have to presume that they would give up the heart or sacrifice the heart of the other person. And so if it was Philip, then that would mean sacrificing Aurora, and Aurora is pregnant, so I'm not kind of that sure it would be Philip. But if it was Aurora, now Prince Philip has not had much to do on Once Upon a Time, and he's kind of just kind of stood there in the background of a lot of this, and so maybe this would just be a way of getting rid of him, would be if Aurora sacrificed Philip's heart and to try and save herself and the baby and send everyone back to Storybrooke. Now, what does that mean for Philip and Aurora? Of course, from what we've seen, anyone who gets their heart ripped out for this curse looks to be dead, and so that means maybe there'll be room for Mulan to return next season, and maybe a little bit of Sleeping Warrior. Definitely up for that, and so we'll see where that goes. Also this week, it looks like Zelena is going to be testing Hook once again, and is maybe going to be threatening Henry for, well, in order for Hook to go and kiss Emma and take away all her powers. Now, that is a possibility that I don't believe that Hook would let Henry die or Henry be treated in any way for the sake of saving Emma's powers. But you know, I was kind of enjoying Emma's powers. I mean, we got to see her make a cup of coffee disappear, and yeah, sure, that was great. But I don't know, we'll have to see. I don't know if Emma's powers will be sticking around for that long, but yeah, definitely it'll be good to see what Hook makes of things when he's asked to save Henry's life or Emma's. So 1 week later, episode 20 is called Kansas, and as the title suggests, this will give us a lot more of the Oz mythology and a backstory to Zelena, Glinda, and from this picture here, it looks like Dorothy is going to be showing up. Now, one thing I think is interesting about this is that Zelena is not green. She obviously hasn't changed into the Wicked Witch by this point, but how does she fit into Dorothy's story? That will be very interesting. And also, we know that this is when the charming baby will be born. We've seen pictures of Snow giving birth to the new baby. We don't know yet if it's going to be a boy or a girl, but what about if this baby is Dorothy herself and is from the future or the past, or somehow ends back in the past with all this time travel that's possibly coming on, and more about that later. But what about if Zelena wants this baby because she knows that this baby is going to be Dorothy who eventually destroys her? And that will be a very interesting twist. And come on, Auntie Em and Uncle Henry are too good of an opportunity to miss. And now on to the actual season finale. Snowdrifts and There's No Place Like Home will be taking place on the same night, and I don't think I've ever been more excited about an episode than this. And to quote Eddie Kitsis, this episode, or these 2 episodes, have been written like a 2-hour movie, which is going to take the show to a place where us fans will want it to go, but maybe don't know yet. Now, will that be to 1950s England during the most prolific dog napping of all time? Cue Cruella and Completion of My Life. well, maybe not, but it'd be nice. And so there's been lots of talk about time travel though. Time travel is what Zelina wants to do. She wants to go back in time and change her past, make it that Cora did not give her up. And from what we've seen behind the scenes pictures, it looks like they may just do that. And we've seen pictures of Maid Marian, who we obviously know from Robin Hood is dead. Well, Blue Fairy anyone? But we've also seen pictures of Emma in peasant's clothes. Now, if that isn't some indication of some weird alternative reality, then I don't know what is. But I'm very excited to see where the show goes with this. And as for this big finale wedding that's been all hyped up, I'm still not entirely certain who it's going to be. Now, I think we can take Rumbelle out of the picture. To be honest with you, I don't think they're going to give Belle a happy ending anytime soon, and maybe we've got a couple more seasons before that will ever happen. I'm also slightly sceptical as to whether Outlaw Queen or Captain Swan will be tying the knots during the finale. I'd just rather their relationships, they're fine, I've got nothing against them, but I'd rather they kind of took it a bit more, slowly right now and waited a bit longer, because that's really only been not very long that they've been going on for, and I'd rather wait and see their relationship develop a bit longer. So the one wedding that I would be all up for, and I think this is a possibility if Zelina does go back and change everything around, goes and alters reality, could this be the wedding that never was between Charming and Abigail? Who? The blonde one from season 1. No, not Cinderella, the other one. But you know, we've seen that Anastasia Griffith is coming back, reprising her role by the end of the season. So what if this wedding took place and everything happened and Emma was never born and all these weird things? I'd be really excited about that. And sure, what had happened to the Snow and Charming relationship then? Well, I think Mary Margs, I think Dr. Whale's still free. And now the build-up to season 4. Apparently there's going to be seeds planted in the finale which give hints as to where we're going next year and to the new villain. Now, I can still hold out hope that we'll be seeing Archie running around Storybook after the disappearance of Pongo, but who else is going to come along and kidnap Henry next year? Moriarty, Bill Sykes, Miss Hannigan? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But that is all still 2 weeks away, and as we know with this show, everything could change. And just before I go, I'd just like to let everyone know about the Fairy Tales 2 convention being hosted by XI Events, taking place in Paris on June the 21st and 22nd, the only convention completely dedicated to Once Upon a Time in Europe, and I'm very, very excited about this. It's going to be featuring Lana Priya, Emily Duravin, Jared Gilmore, Sean Maguire and Robbie Kay. All these fantastic Once Upon a Time actors will be present. I'm going to be there. Please let me know if you will be too. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Okay, so this has been my preview of the final 4 episodes of Once Upon a Time's Season 3. Please let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to know what you guys are all thinking about what's coming up over the next few weeks. I am very excited, although it does mean we've got the hiatus coming up and I don't want to think about that. But thank you very much for watching. I am Joe Worthington, aka CruellasFurCoat, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.